skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF Podcast. Thank God it's Footy. Episode 111. Don't know what that has to do omen-wise, but surely we can use it as a good omen. But anyway, how's it?
It's a good omen if you're having the old 111 involved.
111, yeah.
Good
emergency
omen.
Numbers.
But either way, it's a good thing if when they do arrive, your emergency services, you are happy. I'm unsure if it is the omen we're after.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I don't know if happy is the right word for it.
Cat stuck up a tree.
Happy.
Call up 111.
Probably relieved.
You're relieved. You're stoked. Cheers, mate. You often see in the locals pages people post a photo of the fireman, saving their cat.
Really? I thought that was more just sort of a movies thing.
No, I've seen one recently of a dude whose cat
Get the old
behind
ladder out.
behind a washing machine, and they had to move the washing machine out. Paul Cornish, I'm pretty sure the
The fireman involved.
Yeah, the guy from the squash club.
Good on him.
I think that's his name. But yeah, either way, the week's been good. We went out there on Friday and dropped a whole heap of cash there on a brand new set of irons that I can't hit. I think my favourite thing about them so far is cleaning them after every shot, but I don't really want to leave anything on them.
You want to keep them looking
I
as
don't
brand
really
new.
want to hit them. I think I've got my 6 iron, possibly. I don't think I've actually used yet.
Yep.
At all. Didn't use it in the fitting. I think it's like my one fresh club. So is it my 6? I might have actually used it today. Kind of want to keep them as fresh as, but we're struggling to hit them. We had a pretty high 95 there on the weekend. What's that? 14 differential from the handicap, and then an 88 on the weekend. So we're working our way back. Didn't help the drivers sort of just falling apart out of nowhere. And the only club that I can really hit is my sandwich. But I'm thinking we've got a big day there Friday. That's the second/third edition there of the World Cup. And I've been talking a big game this time around. We're all the three of us teams, we're all after trying to knock Osh off his perch, obviously defending champs, but I've been talking a big game, delving into the back nine.
Mind games.
It is mind games, it's, the numbers
They're coming in hot favourites, as you said.
The numbers don't lie, though. And the numbers don't lie. It doesn't matter whether I'm talking the smack. If you've got the scores to prove it, I think it's viable. If we've had some pretty tasty looking back nines over the years. I've had my best ever 9, 1 under through that back 9 there before. So I've also just today at twilight we're sitting there looking through all of the scores. I've played White Manor over 400 times.
Sure.
So, I'm not much of a 9-hole golfer. There's definitely plenty of 9s I've played over the years. But, that's at least 350 times I've played the back 9. So I don't think I'd be very, very close to par or under par if you totaled them all up over the years. I'd say I'd be quite heavily over par on the back 9, but I'd be less over par on the back than what I'd be on the front. So
yeah, I can vouch for that.
I'm thinking
the numbers don't lie.
It's old clubs come Friday. Get the old clubs back out in the bag for Friday, just for old time's sake. I think it's got to be done. It's the safe play. I decided after twilight today, I'm thinking the 3 iron stays in the bag because it's basically the same as the 2, and it just goes that little bit further. I'm thinking maybe like the 8 or the 9, probably the 7, maybe the 8, because I think the 8 probably goes the same distance as my old 7, but not having a 7 in the bag wasn't really helping me at the time. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixed match.
Pick and mix.
I've played my best golf over the years with a pick and mix set of golf clubs. So I'm thinking it's revert back to the old faithful. I'm thinking as well playing off blues, playing off the old junior tees there as well come Friday. I'm thinking that's going to really come into favour. I don't think drivers really in need. I think we can get away with throughout most of those holes there. Even your par fives.
To be fair, you're cutting off a good chunk of most of those tee shots really when you're getting your blues involved. You think of 16. I'd say 90% of golfers' biggest worry on 16 is that fucking tree. You know the tree. There's
plenty of times that people, but that's the thing with blues.
You pull it a little bit. You know, you go for that little opening.
We're now attacking that hole there from a completely different angle from coming across from the creek. So all of a sudden, rather than you're now worried about going over. Particularly with it being a long drive hole as well. You're now worried. Someone like Osh, we've got a bit of downwind. He pumps his drive from there to the corner. He's off the fairway and he's not winning any prize.
Yeah.
And I kept throwing that at him. I said to him today, I said, mate, we're hoping the wind's blowing this way and you just send your drive completely over into the trees in the rough on the fall or something like that. You know, what you're going to be after there is being able to sort of hit to the right side of the corner and bring it back around a little bit. You know what I mean? Playing into hand for a lefty, really. I think, you know,
you're gonna have to bring that slice.
Or just
get up, baby fade back.
Get up and
really.
Just hit it as hard as you can, possibly, and you know, hopefully that sort of just opens that
Wallop
face.
It. Yeah, hope it works out.
Get that swing speed up a little bit, face opens, and you know, just sort of bend one round to the 135 or something from there, and you know, you're walking away as the inaugural Vanilla Gorilla winner. As well, so you know,
I'd be happy with that. It'd be a good day's work.
Taking out a little long drive comp. I'm really looking for the name match on the trophy at the end of the day. That's my end goal. But if we can maybe nab a nearest a pin, I'd really like that. However, I do think what would be
imagine
really
having
cool,
a hole in one.
I was about to say, I think it would be really cool to see. It would make my day because obviously Osh has to go off first, being the leading team. If in front of everyone, 16 people there, Osh stands up, puts his tee shot like that far away, and then just says, "Oh boys, don't worry, we'll take that one," and just walk off.
Just go crack one of the Coronas.
I'd walk straight in. and
hand them one of the Coronas.
Send the trophy off to the engravers. Repeat that. Chuck a ×2 on there. You know, copy and paste. It's going to be enjoyable. It's a good looking week. We're back into work as well. We're back into a little bit of routine. We played around the golf yesterday. A little bit of twilight today. I'm playing around the golf tomorrow. I'm off to Dizzy Rascal on Thursday night with my mum. That'll be pretty cool. And then Friday into a bit of World Cup, and then around the golf Saturday.
So it sounds like a fairly relaxed first week back at work.
One day, yeah. Oh, we're in Friday morning for a wee bit.
You're rocking a public holiday into a.
I'm also actually going to be in there Thursday as well. To be fair, so you know, but we're cruising back into it. Then you get a week of teacher only days next week. Then you kind of get 2.5 weeks of kind of settling yourself back into it. Chuck some testing in there, chuck a couple of sports days, and all of a sudden I'm at week 10 and I've got a week of camp. And then you're away laughing. So.
Then you've got Easter.
Won't be long
to Magic Round.
It won't be long till I'm on school holiday again. I can tell you that it will breeze by term one, particularly with the fact that we do have now.
How many days are we looking at?
What's that? 30 days since September. 31 in Jan. What's that? 10 days to go.
10 days.
It must be next Friday, next Saturday. The 7th, next Friday, 7th of February, we kick off our pre-season footy. I actually believe maybe some of the younger grades may be kicking off this weekend, possibly as in pre-season. I feel like I saw an email today about some of the Tigers pathway teams, maybe their pre-season starting this weekend. So the likes of your SU Ball, your Harold Matthews, you might get this.
Matches or as in pre-season training?
I didn't actually read the email. I only actually looked at the headline.
Because, I don't think the members would necessarily need to know when they start training.
No. Sorry, did I say training? I meant trials, sorry.
Trials.
Pathways week 1. Teamless Pathways week 1. This Saturday marks season kickoff for 6 of our Pathway sides at West Tigers Club Day. Oh. No, yeah. Team lists.
Are they playing?
Read more.
Good on them.
We want to see. So maybe it might just be pre-seasons possibly. I would assume so. No, it says round 1. SG Ball round 1.
Jesus.
Yeah. That seems bloody early though. Tasha Cup, under 19s women's.
First week of Feb.
Harold Matthews, under 17s. Harold Matthews,
still
both
cricket season.
Yeah, that seems really early on. Far out.
4 blokes.
Yeah, that's going to be a very I can imagine a very hot game of rugby league there for all of them.
Hard ground.
I'm pretty sure it was 39 today in Sydney or something like that. Someone sent to me at work today. 41 I saw on someone's Instagram in Melbourne.
Wouldn't surprise me this time of year.
That's outrageous, dude. Far out. God, I couldn't imagine trying to get out there and play a game of footy and that. That's fucked. But yeah, 10 days to go until we see our first NRL first team pre-season head out next Friday evening. So,
yeah, don't know how many first teamers you'd be seeing, but
either way, we looked at this last week. I can't remember who it was that's kicking us off.
Yes, but it's a bit of a random one, isn't it? Like Cronulla.
I wouldn't have a clue. I've got a feeling for some reason I can see the Bunnies sitting there in that first game.
Cronulla
Warriors, you were correct. 7th of Feb.
Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, who are you going to? I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Kiwis out there who'll be interested to see how the Warriors line up. I mean, to be fair, you might see some first teamers. I don't know where their halves pairing's going to lie there this year. So,
Warriors.
Yeah, so you might see a little bit of possibly some future first team halves there playing up there on Friday night. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably not too many first teamers there involved in that first round, at least. I know that game that we went to there last year, you sort of got that 20, 30-minute batch of them maybe, and then the rest of the younger fellas jump out. But possibly if you've... That was round 2. Also, possibly, though, if you've got all your youth teams playing this weekend already, I don't know, if that's all started up. Reserves won't have started up yet, no, but you might not get to see as many of your young blokes that you might have been. It could have been the same last year. I don't know when they started up last year, but to me that just seems a little bit early starting up. What's that? I guess it is the beginning of February, but that's getting it done very, very early, that's for sure. There's not really been too much news, though, footy related. I have seen something today, supposedly about Jerome Luai getting a little niggle at a training or not finishing a training or something like that. Again, I actually haven't looked into it, but I just saw a thing on Instagram there. Sustains injury, undergoes scans. Yeah. Again, I don't really want to read any of those articles because no, none of them look legit, and I kind of every article says the same thing about the Tigers. So not believe Luai's any doubt the Tigers opening out. Oh yeah, that seems to be okay, I guess. But whether or not we do see him missing 40 pre-seasons possibly, and then sure he's the type of player that can easily come in and slot in. But I've also seen comments saying it's not that bad, and it's just the media trying to slate the Tigers like they usually do. Either way, it's not something you want to see your star recruit going down with a bit of a niggle.
Yeah, speaking of Raya, though, what's your thoughts on also going about the old co-captain route?
Yeah, we what did we went down that route a few years ago? Did we have 5? I think it was something like that. We had a leadership group, and it definitely didn't go very well. I think we had 4 or 5 captains, something along. Yeah, it might have been Mads. Was it maybe like who was before Mads? Was it Jason Taylor, or am I going back too far? It might have been one of the two, I would say. But yeah, I think we had 4 or 5 captains, and I wasn't a fan of that. Co-captaincy is a little bit different, I think, as well. Also, the fact that, I mean...
Was I one that, you kind of added the captain with Coruscant that was already there? I don't know how he's feeling about it. Obviously, great mates with Jerome Lorai. Probably feeling stoked for him in a way, but yeah, I don't know if that sort of lifts happy a bit, whether it's semi-stoked to have some of that pressure taken off his shoulders a little bit. I'm sure he's not the sort of guy that...
I don't think he's going to... No, I don't think he's going to be too disappointed.
Too much, yeah, but interesting that, both our teams have decided to go co-captain.
I mean, probably a lot of people probably backing both... A lot of people probably backing our 2 teams to still finish 16th and 17th as well. So whether or not the co-captaincy's got something to play in that or not, we'll have to wait and see. We have seen Fletcher Sharp agree to a little extension there at the Knights, keeping him there till 2028.
Yeah, good little signing for Newcastle. Obviously showed some great potential in the number 1 jumper. And KP's absence there last year. But yeah, I guess it's been a headache for Newcastle for a while now. How can they fit a few of these extra fullbacks up to the side with Callum Pondu as well? But yeah, no, good for...
He's a good little...
Well on the wing as well. I think he's
scored 4 against the Tigers and scored 1 outrageous try where he sort of put boot to ball and then ended up sort of just speeding around everyone around the side. Handy little player, and yeah, came in in that position. They had no Ponga. Who came in for Ponga, and
that's someone else.
I want to say Atkinson, but it's not Atkinson because I feel like it's got a sin at the end of his name, like a Robinson, but it's not a Robinson. I had him in my fantasy there for a wee bit. Not the Knight Rider. He's right on the tip of my tongue. Why is he not there? Well, he wasn't on that list.
Who's that?
Well, whoever the bloody dude is that we're talking about. He must have left. What was his... Here we go. Armstrong. David Armstrong. No son at all in there, but,
Who did they have before that? The boys from... Cronulla played rugby.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Okay, there was the other bloke that had a run of great games for Newcastle, and then they were probably 6. So anyhow, Fletcher Sharp. Not going to be moving Ponga to 6. He's going to be probably looking at knuckling down at wing spot for himself. Until KP moves on, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably that'd be the plan of attack there, jumping out there on the wing and coming away with 22 tries or something like that a season. I think for a player like him, he's definitely got that. He's got that ability, that's for sure. And still young, and
he seems to be able to create something.
I think he's too good to play on the wing. I think you could look at it like that. He's not a winger, but he's
I like when you've got the likes of Tommy Turbo out on the wing.
Yeah, or like a Lomax, it's those players that can like create something more than just being a try scorer. I mean, someone like Alex Johnson, great try scorer. He's scored obviously plenty of tries in his career. Not going to create something out of nothing, at least not these days. Maybe a little bit more when he was at his peak.
Yeah, when he was pushing for that fullback money, there was a case.
But definitely not now. He's a try scorer. Your Kyle Phelps type of player, another great try scorer there on the wing, but not necessarily someone who you're going to be wanting to. Yeah. It's not going to be a Pat Richards field goal type of winger, you know what I mean? From 45 metres out, it's not a scenario like that. Definitely more of dotting over the line. But I like what I've seen from Fletcher Sharp, even if it is 4 tries there up against my Tigers.
Heavily biased.
It is, but I also had Fletcher Sharp in my fantasy for part of last year, and he scored pretty well. So. I mean, this time next week, hopefully we'll be able to bring you a little team list.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll be out Tuesday night, same time or not. You'd think so. I mean, it would make sense. I don't know why anything would change, but fingers crossed. This time next week, we'll be heading you with Cronulla Warriors preseason trial round 1 team list. Hopefully they're real Munty, and hopefully the fucking Sharks put 40 on them. Hopefully the Sharks play their full first team and the Warriors play their under 14s or something like AFB captain and comes out and just like injures Fisher Harris or something like that. He's the one player that plays that's not part of the under 16s. Yeah. Their old round ball. Now, what did we had a bit of Champions League action after a big hiatus of the break there over the Christmas period. Back into the action there, our second to last group game up against Dinamo Zagreb. Hadn't played them there since, 2006, I think it was? 2015 and 2006 for the 2 times that we'd played them. So it's been a wee while. Came away with a 3-0 win. I mean, you take a 3-0 win, you take a clean sheet, particularly in those home games like that. But look, I mean, it was, from what I saw, it wasn't a bad performance, no doubt about it. I've read lots that the atmosphere was terrible.
Atmosphere wasn't best. It's one of those games that probably doesn't help the long-term atmosphere over the 90 if you are scoring in the second. I don't know whatever it was that I scored.
71 seconds into the game, I think it was.
You're coming into the game with a 95% chance of victory and a realistic likelihood. Dinamo Zagreb, obviously a good side in the Champions League, but not at the level of probably even a Premier League team that like Arsenal at the Emirates. Yeah, very comfortable.
Particularly with the depth of the Premier League that we're seeing this year, I think that's probably a pretty good call. I think they would struggle. They'd be there around about that bottom 3.
This was by far our easiest game of the last few weeks.
You'd take out like the only team I think that they'd like comfortably go out there and beat would be Southampton, which I think a lot of teams at the moment would comfortably go out there and beat Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton so low on confidence.
Ipswich have got threats. Wolves have got threats. Everton obviously now got David Moyes, so I think they're kind of out of that equation already. I think he's going to save them. I think it's written in the stars. But I think you're probably right. It probably was our most comfortable game we've had in a wee while. We weren't really threatened that much either. And you're right, scoring, 2 minutes into a game, it just completely changes the tone.
Yeah, 100%. Although I must say it was good to see Havertz put the ball in the back of the net. You thought that might have set him on a few games with a little bit of confidence under his belt. Same with Martin Odegaard. He touched on the fact after the game that he probably hasn't scored as much this season as he would have liked. Had a really good season last year and the year before, but it's been lacking there this season. But didn't quite give Havertz the momentum and confidence that we would have liked. He missed a few more sitters.
He didn't.
Sitters be a common man.
And one of them he should have scored.
For a bloke that's being paid $300,000, and like you said last time we spoke about it, he's not a striker, he's a midfielder. You'd like to think any professional footballer.
Lampard was a midfielder and he scored fucking 180 goals or 200 goals or whatever it was. Like,
like everyone's saying how we need a goal scorer, a striker, an out-and-out striker. What if someone came and said, Chelsea, they missed Champions League football, Cole Palmer's not having the fact that he hasn't played Champions League football for 2 or 3 years, he's moving to a Champions League club. He don't want to move on.
what, and you sign him and play him as a striker?
Well, you could just sign him and play him as...
Anywhere, and he's going to score you fucking 20 goals.
Exactly.
Shit, yeah.
You don't need that out-and-out striker.
It's so so different.
Someone to pass them the ball.
So different to a Havertz. Yeah, that would be outrageous. I don't see that ever happening. No.
To move away from Chelsea to a Champions League team.
Back to Man City. I mean, I don't think. It depends on what. Maybe later in his career. I don't think he'd go back to City at this time. I think he's young. He'd probably be that little bit more stubborn, possibly, and want to not go back. But maybe you give him that move to like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or something like that, and then come back to a City and go, well, I never have a chance yet.
That's the thing about Chelsea are a young team they're building. I don't think he's probably in any rush.
Nah, and
they just Silverware, he probably knows it's coming. If
they're a bit under the radar.
If that group of Chelsea players can stick together, it is
they had such a poor start to the season. They obviously had a poor season last year as well. I think the fact that they're flying in the Conference League really helps them as well, obviously, being involved in that. They're breaking records in the Conference League, whatever it was, scoring the most goals. And so, yeah, you're probably right. I think I would take him in a situation like that. But, yeah, not a very good game there for Havertz on Sunday there it was.
Yeah, look, certainly not in front of goal. He did his usual. He ran around more than anybody, got involved, threw himself around, but yeah, unfortunately couldn't stick the ball in the back of the net when he did have 2 or 3 rather simple chances, you might say, but Calafiori made the most of a great chance there. To see us through 1-0, allowed us to sort of push the drama of the red card behind us a little bit. Everyone seems to be talking about it. I just think, look, the main thing is we got 3 points, just maybe reverse back. Let's be honest, if you think it's that outrageous, I think, to be fair, I could probably see the side of the refs, maybe not common sense wise, but the fact that they've also had like 10 or 12 other ridiculous red cards this year. In years gone by, we've never been red cards. It's not really years gone by, and like you can see he's fucking studded him like up on the shin a little bit, but I think it's very, very, very harsh, and the VAR not getting involved was. I think that's
the big thing is the fact that they didn't go back and have a good like we've seen too many things over the years.
I feel like there's somewhere it's like, I don't know, like maybe just have another look to be sure. Like I'm not saying
that's why you brought it in there.
Every time they go to the monitor, they reverse the decision.
Yep, that's why they brought it. That's why they brought it in. So I mean, I do think there's that we've got that slight bias being an Arsenal fan, and
I think also another thing with VAR is, especially as Rugby League fans, Rugby Union growing up, we're used to seeing the TMO get involved.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta wait.
Give us a fucking.
You gotta wait a minute.
Can you imagine how hectic the football would be if you had benefit of the doubt? Oh, we don't know if the ball's crossed. Oh, benefit of the doubt. You'd have riots in football if you had that. Imagine that. You've got a Champions League final decided on a benefit of the doubt. Oh, my God. There would be murders. It would be crazy. I mean, I would like to see that, like a reversal of the ban. But, it puts us into a bit of a sticky spot at the moment, obviously, with Sort of that depth at the moment, yeah, that's not looking good. But I guess the only positive is that our next game coming up, this must be Thursday there this week, up against Girona in the Champions League. We're basically qualified and they can't make the playoffs. So hopefully it just allows us that extra game to sort of bring some players back. We can actually see a little bit of rotation possibly. A few more of those young dudes, maybe that we've seen throughout the stages. It's a very typical Arsenal thing in your last game in Europe to go out there, and Wenger used to love doing that, play a completely young team. Whether we get to see the likes of some of those like Maldini, Kakuri, or even we saw Butler Ayeji make his debut there. Some of these players who we're seeing involved on the bench. Aidan Heaven, I'd like to see him play because apparently he could be off to United. And I thought he's been really good when I've seen him play. So a little bit of rotation would be pretty cool going into this one.
Yeah, what's surprising at all, as you said, a couple of factors there. Nothing on the line for us, nothing on the line for them. I think in some ridiculous scenario we can get knocked into the next bracket.
The playoff, but yeah.
We lose by 5 and
something crazy, yeah. Yeah, I don't see it.
3 other results.
I really don't see it happening, no.
So yeah, pretty much booked in there. Huge game on Monday as well. Monday our time, Sunday their time.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win.